Hello and welcome to episode 79 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great week. I had a really nice week. Things are starting to get back to normal after finishing that big wholesale order. I still don't want to reveal exactly what it was. I know there have been some tricklings out there in the interwebs and some of you have heard things, but I'm not going to say anything until I know for sure that all the information is out. But that is done. I did check my tracking yesterday and they have been delivered. So hopefully all is well. But this week I've just started to get back to my normal schedule, getting my normal knitting routine back, my normal work routine. I did have a whole bunch of stuff to catch up on this week that kind of got put aside, so I had to finish up my September clubs. I also had some custom orders that had been put aside that I had to get back to. And then I have to get back to updating the shop. I have not put anything in the shop since I got back from the Kitchener-Waterloo Knitters Fair. So that's been going on, but I've still been able to get some knitting done this week. So what do I have for you today? I have a finished object. I have the winner. Oh, first I think I'm going to do the winner for the September draw, and then I have a finished object, and then I just have a whole bunch of bits and pieces that I've been working on. I've cast on some new projects, I've worked on some other projects, I've made progress on projects. I just have a whole bunch of little things. So we are going to get right into that, but first, before I show you my finished object, I am going to announce the September winner. So if you are a new viewer, every month I take every comment that is made on any of my videos within a given month. I count those as an entry, and then I also count each item purchased from my website in a given month as an entry. And I take all those entries at the end of the month, I draw a name, and that person wins a $20 coupon to my shop. It's just my way saying thank you for your support, thank you for engaging in my channel, and yeah, shopping on my site. So the winner for this month, September's winner, is Kathleen Evans, and you comment frequently on my videos. Thank you so much. If you want to contact me, either Instagram or Ravelry, if you want to find me there, or you can go to my website. There is a contact button somewhere on the bottom of the page. So yes, congratulations, and let's get into the knitting now. So I'm going to show you first my finished object. And I'm sure you are all anticipating this because I was working so hard to finish these by the end of September so that I could keep on going with the Desert Vista Dyeworks challenge, and I did. And I didn't even have to stay up very, very late. I think I finished them. I finished them before Avery went to bed, so it would have been before, like maybe around 8 o'clock I finished them because we had time to play some games and stuff. So it was a nice, relaxed evening. But I finished my September Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. These are done in the colorway Color Accents Teal. I just really like it's a very simple colorway, but I wear a lot of black, I wear a lot of gray, and I wear a lot of teal throughout the winter, and so I just thought these would complement many, many outfits. Because I was working on these in September and I had a lot of stuff going on, I tried to keep these super, super simple. So I did my usual cast on 81 stitches. I did my rib for, usually I do around 25 rows. I just did stockinette for the leg, no pattern. I did a German short row heel. I find that's the quickest heel for me to knit. And then I decreased down to about 70 stitches after the heel. I just did a straight foot, popped my little toe in, and there we go, they were done. So I was able to finish these. I'm so pleased. I'm so glad that I'm still able to keep going, and also the weather has cooled down substantially to where I can wear these. I was very tempted to wear these the other day, but I was like, no, I must save them for Friday so that I can show you guys before I get them all, you know, full of cat hair and stuff like that. So those are done. I can start wearing them now. So I think now that I've shown you those, I'm going to show you the one little thing that I did with the leftover yarn from those socks. First, I pulled off some. I've mentioned before that I am doing an advent swap with some of my friends, and so usually when I finished a fingering weight project, I wind off some 10-gram balls to put into the swap basket, but then I try and save a little bit for my cozy memories blanket. So this is the last square I showed you here, and there we have it. I was able to add in my little September square. So there's going to be, I don't know how many more squares I'm going to be able to add by the end of the year. It's kind of tricky because I've explained this before, but at the end of each year, I do kind of this black border and I add a tag. And obviously I want to end off on kind of an even section so that I can outline it. So let's just have a look here. So if that's where I am, I've still got this whole side here to make it to the other side. So I guess I have to do that many squares. I'm going to have to count how many squares it would take to fill that row, and somehow I'm going to have to figure out how to do that many squares by the end of the year, because I don't want just like a, you know, jagged, awkward edge on my blanket. So that's what we're going to have to figure out, but I will do that later. But I got my September square in, so that's good. What else have I worked on? Okay, so I'm going to show you next the project that you saw last week started, but I have put a little bit more work into. So one of the squares on my bingo card is to make a garment that incorporates handspun. And I've mentioned that originally I wanted this to be a garment for myself, but with time restraints, I just don't see that happening. So I have changed it to a child's garment so that I can mark off that square and I can have a little gift ready. So this is what I've been working on. This is called the Porthole cardigan, and I'll show you the back so you can see the yoke design a little bit more. But the yoke design is done with just very, very little bit of accent yarn, so that's where I use the hand spun, and then it's all slip stitches. So it's super, super, super simple. I think last week I had finished off, so the sleeves were on holders, and I'd maybe gotten an inch or so below the armholes. I have since finished the body, so I've gone right down to the bottom. I've added the ribbing. I've also added the ribbing to the button bands. That way I know everything that I have left in this cake I can use for the sleeves. It still feels pretty hefty, so I think I'll be able to do the full length sleeves no problem. But yeah, so the body's done. I didn't do any buttonholes. Sometimes buttonholes, I just don't want to deal with them. And I'm like, you know what, because this is just a little baby garment, what I'm thinking of doing is eventually I will choose some buttons that I think complement these colors and just sew them on, and then maybe sew on some snaps underneath so that while it will look like there's buttons, it will be like just to snap, a snap closure type thing. So this is the smallest size of the pattern. Based on the yarn that I had one skein of Barocco vintage worsted yarn in the gray, and based on the yardage I could do the smallest size of the pattern. So I've done the smallest size. I do believe it goes up to 4 years old though, and it is a really, really nice, simple unisex pattern. So again, the hand spun that I'm using is this one here. I used about 12 grams of this, so I have plenty left over to use in another project. And I am just really enjoying, I just really like how those colors are kind of working with the gray background. So I really like how this is looking. But yeah, so that's going to go aside for now. And then maybe this week I will pick it up and get those sleeves in. I don't think the sleeves are going to take me very long. Usually I get hung up on sleeves on garments, but those should be, I should be able to get both sleeves done in an afternoon. Like, they're just little itty bitty baby sleeves. So so that was that project. And then the other two projects that I've been working on are new cast-ons. So the first one that I cast on, I think I cast this on Wednesday. I had to go to an appointment, and I realized as I was leaving that I didn't have any knitting because I had finished my September socks and I hadn't cast on anything else, and nothing else that I had was like in a knittable state. And I had a brief moment of panic because I was like, oh, if I'm in the waiting room and I have to wait like an hour, I have nothing to work on. So what I ended up doing was grabbing the ball of yarn that I was hoping in September to start Dennis's last pair of Christmas socks, and I had already selected this. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to grab this because it is in a ball form. I don't have to wind it. I'll just throw it in my knitting bag, and if I need it, I can just cast on there and not have to worry about it. And I had plenty of time to do that. So I was able to cast on while I was there. And I think I cast on, I did my 3 rows of ribbing flat and then joined, and I think I was able to do a couple of rows in the round before I wasn't able to knit anymore. So since then, I've worked on it a little bit more, and you can see I've got the cuff done, so the ribbing ends just about there, and I've got a few rows of stockinette started. So these are for Dennis. They're not going to be anything fancy. I'm not doing any pattern. For him, I cast on 74 stitches, and then I'm just going to do a stockinette leg. The German short row heel works really well for him, so I'm going to do that as well, and just do regular socks. So yeah, this will be his last pair to complete my goal of 4 pairs of Dennis socks for Christmas. Usually I make him 1 pair. He needs more than that, so my goal this year was to make him 4 pairs. This is the last pair. So if I can work on these consistently this month, I feel like I'll be able to knock that box off. And with the baby cardigan. So depending on how this month goes, I may be able to knock a few boxes off on my bingo cardigan. And I'm going to mention this very, very briefly because in a thread I said I wasn't announcing it anywhere else. It was a thread only kind of perk. But I will say, if you are participating in the Bling Your String bingo challenge for the year, and you are having some hiccups with your card, maybe there's some things on there you're not sure if you're going to complete, you're feeling the pressure a little bit, you may want to go check out the thread because I just put up a post that might help you. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, you might want to go check that out. So that's that. So that will potentially complete another square on my bingo card. And then the last thing that I cast on was my October Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. So I wanted to get these started. I just started these today because I've been working on other things. This is the color that I selected. This is Puff the Magic Dragon. I picked this colorway because I think within the last few weeks, or it would have been maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I don't remember, time is a blur at this point, I was talking about some knitting plans, my holiday gift plans, and one of them was to knit both Avery's teacher a pair of socks and also her morning bus driver a pair of socks. And this is the color that I had selected for her morning bus driver. So I was going to make these my October pair of socks so that those were done. I had them all finished and ready to go come December. And so yeah, I cast these on. I wound this up this morning and I cast them on and I got the cuff started. So I'm going to follow kind of my recipe for these because I don't know, I know her shoe size, I'll get to that in a minute, but I don't know like her calf size, I don't know her legs, I don't know how she likes socks to fit. So I cast on with 81 stitches just to make sure they were absolutely not going to be restrictive. I'm doing the ribbing that I usually do. I like a 2x1 rib, but instead of just doing the ribbing on a cuff and then just going into stockinette, I think I'm going to do the whole leg ribbed. I think I am going to put in a German short row heel, but I will probably increase a few stitches before I start doing the heel just to give it a little bit more depth. And then I think I'm going to carry the ribbing down on the top of the foot. So the bottom of the foot obviously will be stockinette, but the ribbing will carry down on the top of the foot just so that there's no bagginess. I'm just hoping it will help them kind of conform to her feet and fit really well. So that's my plan with these. So still a very simple sock, but just a little more involved than my usual socks because there will be a lot of ribbing. I do enjoy ribbing, so that would be fine. It'll just probably take a little bit longer. But yeah, so those have been started, and I know she has a size 8 foot. So I've been bugging Avery to, when she gets on the bus, I'm like, remember to ask your bus driver what size feet she has. And she's like, I don't want to. People are going to, wonder why I'm, asking her about her feet and stuff. I'm like, nobody cares. They're all just, paying attention to their own thing. And so finally she did. And of course her bus driver was all like, well, why do you want to know? And she told her, so she said that my mommy wants to knit you some socks, and I've knit for her before, so she was like, oh, she doesn't have to do that, but she's, she's such a nice knitter, that's fine. So she knows what she's getting. Hopefully she still likes the idea of them. She's not like, oh no, what am I going to do with those? But she's a super, super nice lady, so I'm sure she will appreciate them. And hopefully, if she's never had hand knit socks, she will learn to appreciate the joy of them. So that is started. I think that's everything I worked on this week. Like I said, just lots of little bits and pieces. And then the only other thing, I don't think I mentioned this in my intro as one of the things that we were going to talk about, but I wanted to do a goals update. So what my goals were in September, spoiler, I didn't meet pretty much any of them, and then what my goals are in October. So let's go to that. I don't even know if I'm going to bother putting up a picture. Usually I put a picture of all the things that I finished of the month, the previous month that I'm talking about. It's just the Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I just showed them to you. I think we're good. So my goals in September were to finish my September Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, which I did. I also wanted to finish the first sock of that yarn that I picked out for Dennis for his 4th pair. I didn't even cast them on. I cast those on this week. I wanted to work on my hand-spun owl blanket. I didn't even touch it. It has not moved since the last time I showed it to you and I put it away. It is still there. I didn't even touch it. I wanted to cast on something for my bingo card. Now, I thought I had only completed one of my goals for September because I only finished those socks, but I actually did complete this goal too. So I cast on the Porthole cardigan in September, and that works towards one of my bingo goals. So I did meet that goal. I've met 2 goals. And then the final goal that I had for September, which is completely laughable, was to finish my Cumulus blouse. I didn't even touch it. So yeah, that didn't happen. We all know just everything that was going on in September. It was super, super busy. I just had no knitting time. So my goals for October. I have made these. I don't think I've made them too lofty, but I think I will have more time in October, so I felt pretty confident with giving myself a few more goals. So I want to finish my October Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. That should not be a problem. If I was able to finish my September ones with all the stuff going on, I should be able to do the October ones, no problem. I want to finish the Porthole cardigan again. I just have the sleeves to do at this point. That shouldn't be a problem. I want to finish that 4th pair of socks for Dennis. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Up until now, other than September, I have pretty much completed 2 pairs of socks every month. So I think I will be able to do that. I want to work on my Cumulus, so I just want to bring it out and add. I'm working on the body right now, so I just want to get some work put into it. And then finally, I want to make 2 dishcloths. So I like to make dishcloths for people for Christmas gifts. I like to have, they're nice to have on hand just as little add-ons and stuff. And I've decided I want to make 10 dishcloths for Christmas. So not necessarily all for one person, but I just want to make 10 dishcloths, and then I can kind of divide them out as I need be. And so I've decided that I want to get 2 of those done. If I sit down and work on dishcloths, they really don't take me very long. I prefer to crochet them. I do not like knitting dishcloths. And so they don't take very long. And then also I want to try and make some scrubby dishcloths too. So I'm thinking of kind of picking out a skein of dishcloth cotton from my stash and making 1 plain and 1 scrubby to kind of go together as a set. So I just want to make 2 of those. So I think I might be able to complete all my goals for October. We will see. Things always come up. You never know. But that is all of the knitting stuff that I have to talk about. The only other thing I wanted to mention is kind of a shop thing. I just sent out the September clubs for my mystery club, and so I wanted to let you know that the all the listings currently for the last quarter of my club are up in my shop. So I have the listing for the 3-month bundle, and then I have each of October, November, and December up individually. So if you haven't been following along with my club, the theme this year has been travel, and each quarter we've been going to a different continent. And for the last quarter, we are going to Europe. So I think October's theme is a Tuscan vineyard. I think November is Seville, Spain. And then December is Amsterdam. So there's different pictures that I have picked out based on the location and the colors that I'm going to be inspired by. And then you can choose what kind of yarn. I have sock blanks, I have sock sets, I have 100-gram skeins. You can choose what kind of combination you want. You can choose if you want extras. You can choose if you want a bag in the last month. All of those options are up to you. So I thought I would just let you know that all of those listings are available now. As I start dyeing things, I take the listings down, but for now they are all up there. So I think that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm back to my normal schedule, so this should be going up on Saturday morning. So I hope you have a wonderful, crafty weekend and you get to work on all the things that you want to work on, and I will talk to you soon.